Hi, I'm Darken. This week I gave players a reason to think before they cast abilities, and build the kind of boss fight that actually pushes back. I also started experimenting with the beta floor, not for the entire game yet, but just enough to give the new boss some weight. Let me show you what's new. Abilities were getting too easy to spam, so now they use mana. Dash requires 5 mana and Fireball requires 20. The mana regeneration is pretty slow with a rate of 0.5 per second, so you need to think a little more before smashing buttons, especially in tougher fights. But to keep things fair, I also added mana refills to the chop, so if you've got the coins you can recharge mid-run. It's a small change, but it brings the combat and resource system together in a much better way. Let me know what you think. Do you prefer this kind of resource-based systems, or are you more into cooldowns only? Some of you suggested adding a boss to the game, and I believe it's time to do so. Meet Sir WobbleHelmet, the silent ruler of the Forest of Slimes. Rumors say that he found a rusted helmet buried in the mud, and when he wore it, he stopped being just a slime. Now he guards the forest with hollow eyes, and a purpose no one understands. This week I finished his full sprite sheet, coded his entire fight, and gave him 3 distinct attacks. A ground slam that causes spikes to burst from the floor, a bite, quick and brutal up close, and laser eyes, a full width horizontal beam that forces you to stay alert. Each attack has custom animations and sounds, with cues that you can learn and react to. I also built a boss health bar system. It shows the boss name and a rage phase indicator. It's clean, modular, and I will definitely reuse it for future bosses later on. The boss fight turned out a bit harder than expected, but honestly, I'm really happy with it. It's the first real test in the game, and it finally feels like the player has something to fear. The boss level itself isn't finished yet, still needs an intro, a proper death scene, and some cinematic touches to make it hit harder. But the core fight is in, and it's solid. Now that the boss fight is in, I'm moving on to level design, polish, and giving the world more personality and maybe some lore. Next up, I will finish Sir WobbleHelmet's intro and death scene, and maybe start exploring a parry or shield mechanic for more combat variety. As always, I would love to see more comments and feedback, and if you suggest something cool, I'll do my best to fit it into the game when I can. Thanks for watching. If you want to follow the journey, feel free to subscribe. And that's it for this devlog. See you on the next one.